And here's why. At least he fought legitimately the best guy in his weight. He shouldn't. And it wasn't even that strong. It's an arguable win. So why wouldn't he stay there? But let's start with the guy that everybody talks about year in, year out, 2016. How was 2016 for Gennady Golovkin?
It was a decent year. I mean, he kept his ranking. He's still one of the best fighters in the world without even fighting one of the best fighters in the world. So
with just 2 fights, he beats Dominic Wade. He beats Kell Brooks. 2 fights in 2016. He's on pace to average about 3 fights a year. 2016, he only took 2 fights with Kell Brook and Dominic Wade. He probably should have had another. His next fight is against Daniel Jacobs. If he beats Jacobs, right, and defends the WBA, WBC, IBF, IBO, how do you feel about Gennady Golovkin after Daniel Jacobs?
He's going to be the same place that he is right now, the best in the middleweights, someone that no one wants to face. And let me tell you, we just end it with he fought twice. He sold out everywhere he was at. And that's the story behind Golovkin
that's the
right
truth.
now.
He sold out 0-2 with Brook. He sold out the Forum with Wade.
That was impressive, Lee. You're talking
He
LA.
sold out MSG with Lemieux,
Yes.
which should have been held in Canada.
Yep.
Willie Monroe Jr. in 2015, he sold out the Forum again. He sold out in Morocco when he fought Martin Murray. StubHub was filled to the rafter for Rubio. MSG sell out for Gil. And that now you're back to 2014. So this guy for the last 2 years is somebody that we want to see fight.
He's definitely, got eyeballs on him. He can go anywhere in the world and sell a ticket. And that's something you don't see from a lot of fighters.
He's a perennial draw for HBO. We all want to see it.
We literally seen Floyd go to London and a lady asked him who he was.
Yeah, that's the best. That is the best. Sergey Kovalev had a real rough 2016, but he's still arguably in the top 10. Where does Kovalev go moving forward? Is he going to get Andre Ward one more time?
No, he's got a gun for Andre Ward. I don't see Sergey going to any other big fight, but trying to get the rematch with Ward right now. I think they know they left one on the table there. Look, you could say what you want about Andre adjusted in the fight, but to me, it was Kovalev that gave up the fight more than Andre winning it. Andre had a lot of flaws going in. It looked like Sergey was going to have his way in the first 6 minutes, and then something just happened where maybe he got power hungry. I don't know. Maybe he thought whenever he hit Andre, it was going to hurt, so he didn't have to press the action as much as he was in the first 2 rounds, or maybe it was Ward's adjusting. Whatever the case, they have to watch that tape. One, I think you get rid of John David Jackson. I'm sorry. I still watch the fight. I still see John David Jackson saying nothing. That guy was not talking during that fight. I don't know if he was pissed at Kovalev. Kovalev didn't want him to say. He wanted to hear it from someone else in Russian. I don't know what it was. But John David Jackson was a big-time letdown to Kovalev in the biggest fight of his career. Don't know if I want to bring him back for my second biggest fight of my career. And then just go to work. Go to work, get Andre back in the ring, and try to get through that jab. Now, that's really what beat you.
Roman Gonzalez. 2016, he fought twice against Arroyo and Cuadras, right? Both at the Forum. Didn't really draw. I mean, they were stacked in on cards.
Yeah, with Triple G. He's always with Triple G.
Right. He's always with Triple G, so he's not the draw on that card. His last big fight was against Brian Valoria, who he destroyed.
You can say big as far as name-wise, but that Cuadras, they were both undefeated champions. That Carlos Cuadras coming from Mexico is a bigger draw than Brian Valoria. That was a huge fight, Lee, and I didn't think Roman Gonzalez won it, but whatever. Yeah, they are going to rematch. They will rematch.
He's a 10-year winning streak. I mean, I can understand why everybody's got him at number 1. He's arguably in the top 10. There's no question about that. But there should only be one number 1. And I don't know how this man is not number 1. There's a reason I moved him to number 1 in this discussion. And if you don't believe me, just Google pound for pound rankings. It's going to be Gonzalez is number one. That's just a fucking travesty.
Yeah, no, it's
the number one fighter of this year. The best fighter of this year is only one man, and he deserves it because he got the decision, and that's Andre Ward.
Yep, that's right.
Did anybody have even remotely the 2016 that Andre Ward had?
Nope. He had the best fight in the sport. He had the most anticipated matchup. He had the fight that we called the Super Bowl. They were both undefeated legends. They're both by far the number one fighter in each division, super middleweight and light heavyweight. They brought it together and one man won. That's it. That's all that happened here. And people just, they don't like it. Sometimes they do not like the outcome of these fights, and they go against it as much as they can. And I'm talking about the media. Look at half of you assholes that put Roman Gonzalez as your number one. You guys do it basically to show HBO that you'll pony up to them and try to see if that doesn't help you get better seats in the fights. Roman Gonzalez has done nothing to prove that he's number one. In his last fight, he looked like he got beat the hell up. His both eyes swollen, bleeding, lost the championship rounds. I mean, come on, that was a complete fucking farce.
I can't name another active fighter who is an undisputed, and let's get it right. He is the unified, undisputed champion, right? No doubt about it.
No, Andre?
Yes,
sir.
Okay. Look at this list of people he's taken out.
Yep.
Kovalev, Dawson, Froch, Abraham, Bika, Kessler,
Yep.
Miranda. I mean, this is a who's hit list in their prime.
Just
like
the,
he fought
just
these guys
the Dawson,
in their prime.
The Kovalev, Dawson, Froch, your legend. Sorry. Those are the best fighters at the time in those divisions.
The argument that Abraham, Froch, Dawson make you a legend.
Well,
that
Kessler.
Winning that first go around in 2011. That's
Mikkel,
and then come back the following year, and then you beat Chad Dawson.
Mikkel Kessler was 40, I believe 42-1 when he fought Ward, and that one defeat came to Calzaghe. He had dominated the super middleweights. Besides that, Ward defeated Kessler. Arthur Abraham actually moved up for that tournament. Kessler was the one that they thought was going to take it because he had done so good against Calzaghe and basically had defeated everyone else in the division. Ward defeated that number one guy too. And let's not be mistaken, Calzaghe retired because he did not want to face Andre Ward.
Now jump ahead 5 years after that amazing Super 6 tournament. He takes on a guy that literally retired a man. Okay, you can all say what you want about Bernard in 2016. Bernard's career ended when he fought Sergey Kovalev. Yep. No doubt about it.
Looked like a regular human being at that night.
Looked like a regular human being, and that's where he started to make his that's when I'm not going to fight again started to happen. And Kovalev went on from there. Kovalev went on a terror spree of just destroying and beating up human beings. Okay? Sergey Kovalev coming into the fight had the closest chance, like for the first time in 5 years, this was the first real contender to fighting Andre Ward on a layoff after fighting two bums. I mean, he fought Brand and Barrera, which are legit bums. He didn't fight anybody, right?
Yeah.
He takes 3 fights at Oracle over the course of 2015 and 2016, right? He takes Smith, Barrera, and Brand, right? Stay in his backyard, just tune up fights, doesn't do anything too impressive, to jump straight to Kovalev and dismantle him.
Yep.
Off the mat, Rocky style, and still nobody watched that fight, which is shocking to me to no end.
Lee, what's shocking is the numbers that came behind both the replay and the live event. I don't see how people, and you know what, there are writers that are finally catching up to what's going on. That was our diehard fan base, 160K, huh? That's the nah, man. That I've never seen more evidence that we're at a real bad place this year than those numbers right there. Have we ever seen a fight of that caliber go so under the radar? And we're not just talking good fighters here. We're not just talking, it was Vasquez versus Marquez on Showtime. No, bullshit. These guys were number one. They were undefeated.
There was no other in 2016.
Fuck.
In 2016, there was no other 1-versus-1.
Right.
Maybe if Klitschko had fought Fury in 2016.
The rematch. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Maybe Tyson versus the one that's coming up right, there might have been things that would have been in the ballpark. Maybe with Klitschko, maybe Canelo Triple G would have tipped the scales in 2016. Arguably, there's a lot of fights that could have shown up in 2016 to make boxing great. We didn't get those. We didn't get a Mayweather return. What we got was Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev. That should have been the Super Bowl. And it wasn't. It was a dead fizzle, and it was a great fight, lived up to the hype. There shouldn't have been a single seat to that fight. There shouldn't have been other events in Vegas on that night being able to draw human beings. There should have been live play-by-play in casinos. Yep. That fight by itself, handled correctly by the promoters, should have been, and I blame Rock Nation and HBO, who handled the distribution and the marketing of this event. They did not build this fight to what it really was. I mean, that's the reality of this fight.
Like you said, Lee, Beyonce should have probably been singing the national anthem, and that should have been part of the promotions.
There should have been a halftime show, for God's sakes. It's that big a fight. It should have been in, the really sad part, this should have been in Dallas at the stadium and sold out. Okay? Not Canelo versus Chavez Jr. We should pay to see a Kovalev Ward in front of 100,000 people.
It goes back to the American. There's a lot of African Americans that are not getting the support of the American boxing fan right now. They're just not. The argument that Daniel Jacobs made, I've been saying for a while now because I've seen it, and I seen it actually with Andre Ward when I would go to his signings and see nothing. I'm talking, this kid's from Oakland, California. He won gold. He's been undefeated ever since he's been a pro. Where's the support of Oakland? Why isn't there a line of people around the mall telling their kids, because everyone in Oakland wants to be an athlete, right? A rap star, athlete, that's basically the goals of some of the ghetto streets out there in Oakland. Why wouldn't you support this kid? I don't understand it, but I've seen it. I've seen it with Andre, and I've seen it in other situations. And no, they are not getting the support that Mexicans show to their fighters. Sorry.
It's a shame. Andre Ward deserves better. You arguably now have the WBA, IBF, WBO unified champion, right? He's fought in every weight class.
He's
middleweight
done things that no other legend has. Period.
Can we make the argument at this point? Top 10 of all time.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe even the best of all time.
I fucking said if he beat Kovalev, case closed. You cannot duplicate what Andre Ward has done in his career. Dude, this is the greatest story, untold story, and I think it's coming. I hope you do not retire, Andre. You cannot retire. You have a few. I'm hoping you have a few fights. I don't know his health issues, Lee. I'm not close to him like that. But he has a chance of, yes, becoming the greatest of all time because of his history of what he has already. The gold, the undefeated since 1993 or whatever the fuck he lost last time he was 14 years old. The multiple number one guys that he's dropped in different eras. This isn't just, oh, no, he just had that one run. Yeah, one run, my ass. You gave him the best super middleweight, defeated him. You gave him the best light heavyweight, defeated him. You gave him the best light heavyweight again, 5 years later, defeated his ass too. Eras.
What does Andre Ward have to do to get respect?
Slap somebody on the street. I don't know. Lee, I don't know if you read the Daniel Jacobs argument. That's what he's saying.
Here's the part that kills me. How is Andre Ward not the best pound for pound fighter?
Lose a bowling match and then pull out a pistol and be like, "This is how we do it in the streets."